Welcome to another episode of Brett's Old Time Radio Show, and welcome to my home in beautiful Lyme Bay, where it's definitely feeling a bit on the chilly side, and I think it's fair to say, as you look across the bay, it looks flipping cold out there. It really does. Vicky and I are extremely lucky that we both work from home, so after dropping the boys to school, we had a little visit to a village near us called Ottery St Mary, where we had a delicious spot of cooked breakfast. It was top notch. Highly recommended. Look it up, Google it, Ottery St Mary, top notch breakfast. Get in there, you'll love it. Not only is it a Monday, but it's time for probably our most popular show of the week. Welcome to another episode of Brett's Old Time Radio Show with our weekly visit to the world of Tony Hancock. I've lit a fire, don't worry, I'm all prepared for you. We'll sit back, dim the lights, journey back to the amazing old-time radio shows of yesterday. And for tomorrow night's Sherlock Holmes episode, I am planning, once again, as a little treat, hot chocolate with a little shot of Baileys. So make sure you're here tomorrow night bright and early so I get the fire lit and we can all just chill out on a lovely Tuesday evening. Back to today. Huge thank you for joining me once again for our regular late night visit to those dusty studio archives of old time radio shows right here at my home on the south coast of the United Kingdom. I'm Brett, your host for our nighttime podcast, and welcome to another episode. Don't forget, I've got an Instagram page and a YouTube channel, both called Brett's Old Time Radio Show, and it would be fantastic if you could follow me there. Feel free to send me some feedback on any of the shows that we've got running at the moment. Brett@tourdate.co.uk is my email address. Tonight's an episode of Hancock's Half Hour called the Monte Carlo Rally, with Moira Lister, Sid James, and, of course, Bill Kerr.
The BBC presents Tony Hancock with Moira Lister, Bill Kerr and Sidney James in
Hancock's Half Hour.
This week, the whole of Europe is tense with excitement following the course of that exhausting and nerve-wracking endurance test, the Monte Carlo Rally. And this year, we British can feel fairly confident because the cream of our steely-nerved racing drivers are driving some pretty fine new machines. So let us take you back to Monday's memorable start from Glasgow.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Brown Johnston reporting from Glasgow, the starting point for British competitors in this year's edition of the most grueling test for man and machine in the motoring calendar, the famous Monte Carlo Rally. It really is a wonderful sight. Almost every car manufacturer in Britain has entered his latest model, driven by some of the finest drivers in the world. Over there I can see Ken Wharton in his Daimler, yes, and there's Raymond Baxter in his hotted-up Ford Zephyr, and Reg Parnell driving one of the Aston Martin DB2s, all tensed up waiting for the signal to start. Now, wait a second. Apparently there's one competitor still to arrive. It's number 101, Britain's top racing driver, Captain Anthony Wheels Hancock. He was, of course, the sensational winner of last year's Grand Prix de Grimsby for foot-operated soapbox. Captain Hancock, in his privately entered Sid James special, was last seen a few miles south of Glasgow, so we should see him coming tearing up the starting line any minute now.
Come on now, push! Push! Harder! Get your shoulder behind it, Moira. Dig your heels in, there's a good girl. Push, Sid. Come on, Bill, get your back into it. What's the matter with you?
What a car this is. We've had to push it halfway from London.
Well, I'd expect to have to push a car occasionally.
Yeah, but not downhill.
I'll stop moaning and push. If we don't hurry up, they'll start without us.
Oh, Tony, why don't we give up? We'll never get there.
Give up? Wheels, Hancock, give up? Never. For the last 10 Monte Carlo rallies, me and me car have been on that starting line.
And stay there.
And stay there. Jolly good.
No, Tony, please. Let's rest for a minute. I can't push this thing any further.
Oh, all right then. Honestly, I don't know what's wrong with the young girls of today. Ask them to push a car for a few miles and they're finished.
A few miles? We left London with 12 gallons of petrol and we've still got 11 and a half.
Well, we've used half a gallon, have we?
Yeah, and that evaporated.
Don't blame me. It's Sid's car, not mine. I'm just driving it, that's all.
I don't understand it, Sid. What made you enter a car like this in the first place?
I'll tell you. The winner of the Monte Carlo rally gets 1,200,000 francs, see?
Wait a minute. 1,200,000 francs, 25 acres to the yen, 4 yen, 1 rupee. 2 rupees, 1 sou. Sous are better than annas. Annas. That reminds me, I haven't heard from Elsie lately. See her down the rink, I expect. Never mind. Let's see. 15 marks, 1 centime. Centimes into guilders, a couple of pfennigs makes...
Hey, Tug, look,
there's just one more little detail to work out.
What?
How much is 1,200,000 francs worth?
I don't know, but it's a lot of rhino, and I'm going to win it.
Listen, this heap wouldn't win the rally if we started in Monte Carlo.
Don't be so sure, Billy boy. What happens when all the cars reach Dover?
They go on board the ferry to get to France.
Exactly. And Uncle Charlie would never let me down.
Who's Uncle Charlie?
He drives the ferry. And I hope they all enjoy it.
What?
Their winter cruise to Iceland.
That's the dirtiest trick I've ever heard of.
Yes, I'm rather proud of it myself.
Oh, we better get a move on or we're not going to get there for the start.
Right. Which way do we go?
I don't know. Ask that lady there.
Oh, excuse me, madam.
What can I do for you?
I'm sorry, sir. The clothes are very confusing up here. Do you know the way to Glasgow?
I do. Thanks very much. Good day.
Now come back! Yes, jolly good. Thank you. Very helpful. Look, we're English, see?
Oh, you poor wee laddie. What a terrible thing to happen to a man.
Yes. Well, we're lost, you see.
Forsaken is more the word.
Look, I want to get to Glasgow. Which is the quickest way?
Well, let me see now. Glasgow. I've never been there since I was a wee laddie. I'm afraid I might have forgotten how to get there. I've got a terrible, terrible memory.
Aye.
I'm always forgetting things.
Ooh.
Well, think.
Yes, I'm trying. No, it's no good. I'll have to remember to do. I'll have to have something to jog my memory. Turn right to the crossroads, carry on for half a mile. First left again over the level crossing, and then you... Then you
you're losing it again.
It's gone. That's it. Carry on for 2 miles, left of the signpost, past the telephone box, over the railway bridge, and then
it's going again, isn't it?
Yes. First right again. Straight past Angus McPherson's distillery, past Ian McIntosh's distillery, past Duncan McPhee's distillery, past Sandy McTavish's distillery, past Andrew McDuff's distillery, past...
Is this the quickest way?
No, but it's some of the finest scenery in Scotland.
Right, now. Thank you very much. I think we'll be all right now. Hoots. We'll be a while. Goodbye, Lang may a Lumreek, or whatever that... I love porridge in the springtime.
Hello, listeners. Brown Johnston here again, and I really must apologise for the delay in starting this Monte Carlo rally of 1955. But we're still waiting for competitor number 101, Captain Wheels Hancock, to arrive at the start. He's 3 hours overdue now, and... Oh, wait a minute. I do believe... Yes, here he comes at last. I can just see an empty car coming round the corner, closely followed by Hancock and his 3 assistants. Well, he should get underway now as Hancock gets his car into position. Yes, it's there, and he's just going over for a word with the official start.
Morning, I'm sorry we're late. Where do you want me to put my car?
Yes, well, I'm afraid I must be some mistake. The London to Brighton was run several weeks ago.
Oh, highly amusing that was, yes. Listen, this car is entered for the Monte Carlo rally. You've got me entry there.
Let me see. What name?
Hancock. H-A-N-C-H-O-C-K. The H is optional.
Yes, Hancock. Ah, yes. Captain Wheels Hancock.
That's me.
Born in 1896.
That's the date of the car.
Sorry, yes, of course. I have the details here. An 1896 modified AJY special. AJY?
Assembled from the junkyards.
I see. What rating is she?
Oh, 6 cylinders, overhead valve engine, twin carburetors, straight through exhaust, special compression head, supercharged with a capacity of 3,000 cubic centimeters, developing 160 brake horsepower. That's a special accessory of our own design, which I must say really gets her going.
Oh, what's that?
A tow rope.
Well, now then, just a few customs formalities. What equipment will you be taking with you?
Me co-driver, Mr. Bill Spanner's car. a radio, fog lights, spare tires, and me heater.
I don't see any heater.
Mora, stand up for the gentleman. And, of course, the owner of the car, Mr. Sporting Sidney James, will also be travelling with us, a most valuable member of me crew.
What does he do?
He's in charge of the tin tacks and the broken glass.
Yeah. Well, here's your timetable. Now, you have to be in Dover by tonight.
Do the trolley buses run all the way?
Trolley buses? Of course not.
Oh. Sid, you can ditch them 2 long poles. We won't be needing them.
Well, I think we can get started now. All right, everybody, start your engines.
And now, listeners, everything's in readiness for the start. All the cars are revving up, each waiting for a signal to go. Any minute now. Yes, the first one's off. The Monte Carlo rally's underway.
Dover, here we come.
What's the matter, Tony? Won't it start?
Won't it start? Won't it start? Of course it won't start, idiot. Women, won't it start? You'll be asking me if I've switched on next?
Well, have you?
She's right. She's dead right. Mind your own business. I found the trouble.
What was it?
I haven't switched on.
Oh, come on, let me have a go.
That's it. Listen to her purring away there.
Well, what are we waiting for?
There's something stopping the front wheels from moving forward.
Oh, yes, I see what it is.
What?
They put 2 coats of paint on the starting line.
Wait a minute. We're moving. Yes? We're moving. Quick, let the clutch in.
At last, we're off. Dover, here we come. This is better. We're making good time now. 6 hours since the rally started.
Getting dark. Where are we?
I'm not sure, Bill. Have a look at that sign.
Okay, Oh,
What does it say?
Sucky Hall Street.
We'll have to do better than this, Hancock.
Don't worry, I'll get this car to Dover tonight if it kills me.
Tickets, please.
4 singles to Dover, please. You'll find a car in the guard's van.
This is Brown Johnson reporting once again on the progress made so far in the Monte Carlo rally. Now, we've just heard that the first driver to reach Dover was Captain Anthony Wheels Hancock in his 1896 modified AJY Special.
Please silence, please warship the Moor.
Well, congratulations, Captain Hancock, on breaking the record for the Glasgow to Dover run. What a fantastic speed you must have kept up.
Ah, well, it's downhill all the way, isn't it?
Downhill? It's not, you know.
Well, it is for us. We've got big back wheels.
Come on, Tub, we'd better get some sleep. The ferry leaves for Boulogne first thing in the morning.
Good morning, everybody. Brown Johnston reporting on the second day of the Monte Carlo Rally. As listeners, I think, already know, the BBC's motor racing correspondent Raymond Baxter is actually taking part in the rally and is recording up-to-the-minute eyewitness accounts from inside his car. And so, for the first of these reports, over to Raymond Baxter.
Raymond Baxter reporting from Boulogne, ready to begin stage 2 of the Monte Carlo Rally. Now the cars are pouring off the ferry onto French soil. And there goes Captain Hancock's AJY Special, looking somehow different with her twin funnels, her streamlined mainmast, and underslung lighthouse. A really magnificent sight as she slowly drives into the customs shed for examination.
Now, Tony, are you sure you can handle the French customs?
What? Well, lad, I'll have you know that je parle français aussi bon que anyone else.
Well, you know what the French are, and you know what customs officials are.
Moment, vous just pipe down un peu and leave it to the connoisseurs. Ah, bonjour, monsieur le douanier.
Bonjour, monsieur. Avez-vous quelque chose à déclarer?
Mais non, je suis simplement un chauffeur dans le Monte Carlo.
Très bien, monsieur. Mais je dois vous avertir que si vous avez avec vous des narcotiques, des bijoux, du tabac, des animaux, des armes à feu, ou vous comprenez des choses semblables, vous devez les déclarer.
Écoutez, je vous ai assuré, et je vous en prie de me croire, c'est la vérité. Je n'ai absolument rien à cacher.
What did he say?
Never mind about him. What did I say?
Tony, that's no way to get through. Let me try their French customs. Bonjour, mon capitaine.
Well, we all know what that means.
Oh, quel charme, quelle beauté, quelle élégance, quelle femme. T'as un téléphone?
Mais oui, Shepherd's Bush, 7465.
Hello, hello.
Au revoir, chérie.
What did all that mean?
Well, roughly translated, it means we go straight through. Come on.
Amour, amour, amour. Amour, amour.
You're not having any more, mate. An old favourite, but came in useful there. That's your lots. Come, children, on our way to Monte Carlo.
Lille. Liège.
Venlo.
Amsterdam.
The Hague!
Brussels.
Paris.
Well, that's all half of them came on the rally for anyway.
Good evening, listeners. Brown Johnston again, and here is the latest news of the Monte Carlo Rally. The halfway stage has been reached, and I'm very pleased to say that so far the British contingent has kept fairly well together. But the most amazing thing is that leading the field is none other than Wheels Hancock. Yes, that 59-year-old car of his is holding its own against the high-powered, up-to-date sports models from all over the world. They just can't seem to pass him. I'd give anything to know just how he's managing to do it.
All right, Sid, we've crossed the bridge.
Right, blow it up. Right, and when we get round the corner, we'll start another landslide. Who's driving that car directly behind us?
Let's see, number 24, Armstrong Sidley, driven by Air Vice Marshal Pathfinder Bennett.
Right, turn the signpost round. That's one path he won't find. Here he comes, here he is. My word, he's going at a fast lick, isn't he? Still, I think he'll like Turkey when he gets there.
Hey, fella, something's gone wrong. There's a car behind us. Got past all the traps we laid. He must have taken a shortcut.
Who is he, Moira?
Just a minute. 76. Good heavens, it's the car that the BBC commentator's in. Raymond Baxter.
Baxter, we'll have him. Yes. Quick, Sid! Smoke bombs!
Good evening. Raymond Baxter again, this time speaking to you from the road about 90 miles southeast of Paris, heading towards the mountainous stage of the rally. Now, I understand that we're now lying second on the road to Wheels Hancock, whose car I can see not half a mile ahead of me. We seem to be catching up on him pretty quickly, but now... What, just a minute now, wait a minute here. This is positively uncanny. A clear blue sky and a nice bright sun 1 minute, and now suddenly a thick fog has just sprung up. I can't see more than 2 feet in front of the car, and we've got to be very careful here. Now, according to my road map, we should be approaching a narrow bridge spanning a deep mountain stream. Out of the car, I can't see a thing, but we must be somewhere near it. Now, perhaps if I were to lean my head out of the window and...
Put the bridge back, Sid.
Good evening, listeners. Brown Johnston again. And we're now at the last stages of the Monte Carlo rally. Well, we shan't be able to give you any more eyewitness accounts because, unfortunately, we seem to have lost proper contact with Raymond Baxter. His last recording, picked up by the BBC, didn't give much information. He said simply...
Shoot!
Thank you, Raymond Baxter. Meanwhile, as the rally nears its completion, we've just been informed by the Air Ministry of a sudden change in weather conditions over the latter stages of the route. There's a fierce blizzard blowing in the Alpes Maritimes, the mountains just north of Monte Carlo, through which the leaders should now be passing.
It's no good. We can't go on. We'll have to stop.
Can't stop now. Another 2 hours, we'll be in Monte Carlo. There's 1,200,000 francs at stake. You keep driving.
But I can't see all this snow.
You got windscreen wipers, haven't you?
They're not much good when you haven't got a windscreen. Well, be fair. You know, when I get chilly, I'm liable to have one of my turns.
Hey, just look at this weather. It's getting worse. The snow must be a foot deep.
Oh, much more than that.
I'm talking about inside the car.
I told you we should have got one with a roof on it. Look at us. A bowler out and a pipe each, and the kids will start slinging snowballs at us.
You keep your eyes on the road, Hancock. The surface is like glass. There's a 4,000 drop on one side and smack into the chasm.
I wouldn't worry. Even if this car did go over the edge, I bet we'd have to get out halfway and push it.
I wonder how the other cars are getting on.
Well, I think they should all be in the Mediterranean by now.
What do you mean?
Well, a pot of paint, a few deft strokes with the old brush. It's amazing what you can do with some of them dangerous bend signs.
You better go carefully along here, Tony. It's getting worse.
Yeah, look at those mountains up there. There must be millions of tons of snow in that lot.
Yes, I was reading about that the other day. Do you know that a sudden, violent noise could bring the lot down on top of us?
Really?
Yes. Yes, it's the echo. It vibrates round the valley and causes an avalanche.
Don't worry, it won't happen here. We'd have to kick up a horrible din to bring that lot down. Ah, well.
Let's have the radio on.
Yes.
This is the BBC Light Programme.
Whitey, Whitey!
Well, I think it speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Well, that's the worst landslide I've ever seen. Lucky that rescue party came along and dug us out. We'd have still been there.
Has anybody seen Tony?
Yeah, he fell over the edge of the cliff. They're still looking for him.
Oh, look, there he is, chatting to that man who's trying to get him up.
Of course, this isn't the first time I've been hanging from a cliff top by the tips of my fingers.
I didn't think it was. No.
Well, you could tell by the cool, calm, professional way I was screaming my head off before you came along.
Yes.
I had noticed. Yes, I. Because I've been mountaineering all my life, you know.
Really?
Oh, yes. When I was in the army, I was over the hill most of the time.
Were you?
Do you know, time I've got in mind was on the Everest climb.
You climbed Everest?
Yes, when I was out in India.
Oh.
Every morning before breakfast.
Did you?
I know what you're going to say now. Yeah. I can tell you the exact words you're going to say.
What?
Huntanillery. Yeah, they all do. Makes you sick. I was at the top of Everest when they were just a gleam in the father's eye.
You sure?
Am I? Listen, you've heard about them great big footprints they found in the snow up there?
Yeah.
Mine. Mine. Of course, that's not the story they give out. Oh, dear me, no, they... I realise now the biggest mistake I made was not sticking a flag in the top.
Oh, you should have done that.
I know. Well, I left me lunch up there.
Did you? Well.
That's gone. I went back and had a look.
No?
Well, anyway, do you mind taking your spike boots off me fingers? Oh, I'm sorry. It's all right. No, it's all right.
I'm sorry.
I just thought I'd mention it in passing. Anyway, the time I'm telling you about was, let me see, it'd be the 10th time I climbed it. That'd be a Thursday. It'd be a Thursday, yes, that's right. I said to my mate Harry, you don't know Harry, do you?
No, I never met him.
Nice fella he is,
yeah?
Nice fella. Yeah, he took to drink in the end.
Oh, dear.
It was the making of him.
Was it?
Yeah. Anyway, I said to Harry, do you fancy Everest today? He said, well, it'll make a day out, won't it? Yeah. So we packed some sandwiches and off we went. Well, I got to, I suppose it must have been about 32,000 feet.
Wait a minute. Everest isn't as tall as that.
Was then. It was then. Me and Harry wore it down, running up and down it. Well, there I was.
Yeah?
There I was.
Where?
To put you in the picture, there I was, dangling over a precipice, hanging onto a rope that was tied round Harry, who was standing on the top, when he suddenly says, hey, look at the time, he says. It's 7:15. I got to go home. I said, you can't go home and leave me dangling over the edge of this cliff. Come and help me up. Well, I don't know whether it was his conscience, but his whole attitude changed.
Did it?
He could see he'd been selfish. You know, he blushed with shame.
Yeah.
I've never seen a man more ashamed of himself. He knelt down on the edge, and he looked down at me and he said, forgive me, old man. I was being selfish. I realized you've got to get down as well as me. Do you know what he did?
What?
He cut the rope.
Hey, Tub, hurry up. They've dug the car out. Let's get a move on.
Oh, come in. Cheerio, then. I'll see you next week.
Well, I hope so. I look forward to that little chat.
Well, so do I. It's been delightful. Right. Thank you. Good. You're the only one who understands me.
Well,
yes, goodbye, ta-ra. Come, children, to Monte Carlo and the prize money.
Look at the crowds, the band. The whole town's turned out to welcome us.
Where's Mr. Carlo? Who? Monte Carlo, the bloke who owns the place.
Oh, isn't it wonderful? First home in the Monte Carlo rally.
Yeah, and here comes the mayor with the prize money.
Ah, mes amis, congratulations. What a magnificent achievement. You have won the Monte Carlo rally, and I have great pleasure in presenting you with this check for 1,200,000 francs. And here it is. 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 Here it is.
I'm sorry, I was miles away.
Well, here it is.
Oh, yes, the cheque for 1,200,000 francs.
No, a ticket for parking. You've been stuck here on the starting line for 4 days now.
Officer, I can explain. The starter's gone wrong. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. I wouldn't bother you again. Have an Agnes. Have an Agnes with me.
Yeah.
It's the pleasure.
Well, we know about that. Come on with your name and address and your laptop. You're coming to police and you're...
You have been listening to Raymond Baxter and Brian Johnston's Half Hour, and in the programme you also heard Tony Hancock with Moira Lister, Bill Kerr, Sidney James and Kenneth Williams. Incidental music was composed by Wally Stott and recorded by the BBC Augmented Revue Orchestra, conducted by Harry Rabinowitz. The script was written by Ray Galton and Alan Simpson, and the programme which was recorded was produced by Dennis Mayne Wilson.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the Monte Carlo rally, and don't forget we'll be back tomorrow for an epic adventure from the case files of Sherlock Holmes, going live at 5 p.m. GMT. You can email me on brett@tourdate.co.uk, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the show. Thanks for listening. I'll be with you 7 days a week, each and every week, and I'll see you next time on Brett's Old Time Radio Show. Love you. Bye.